You might be wondering, what the heck is this guy doing on Six Figs' channel? And I'm here to ask Six Figs the questions I have myself as a viewer, having watched a bunch of his videos earlier today. I'm like, I want to know all this stuff about him that you don't get to know on a regular channel. So thank you, Six Figs, for doing this video with me. And I I'm gonna ask you all the questions I think some of your viewers have. So first question I want to have answered is like, how'd you get into crypto?
Yeah, so crypto, this is kind of like one of those sad stories where the dude sold all his crypto way too early on, especially Bitcoin. The first experience I ever had with Bitcoin was when it was at $6. And I bought 200 of them. And I was a broke college kid who had some little BS job cleaning heavy equipment with a power washer, which was terrible. But I had this credit card, and my friend at the time was buying lots of stuff off Silk Road. And I said, well, how do you pay for stuff? And he's mentioned Bitcoin. I thought, okay, Bitcoin, this is great. I'm going to look at it. He's like, yeah, the value just rises and, and basically increases and decreases like a stock. And right then and there, I was hooked. That's all I needed to hear. And so I picked up 200. I maxed out that credit card to the limit, and I sat on it for like maybe a few months. And I ended up selling it all for like a couple $100 profit. And today that'd be worth over 20 million.
Oh,
But back then this was still a very much unknown industry. The asset itself was kind of a laughing stock of among the TradFi people. And so I sold it, and I think I probably bought like just beer and food to survive, as every broke college kid just needs to any money they can scrape up to just get by. And so fast forward a long time, and it wasn't until 2020, 2021, where actually it was the 2020 dip where I really took a look at Bitcoin. I'd been kind of following it through the 2017, 2018 bull run, but never really got involved. And then once 2020 rolled around, of course, everybody's got all this free time. And that's when I really started to dive deep back into the cryptoverse. And after a while, I started making these videos on TikTok, and TikTok blew up, but I realized I needed more time, so I kind of switched over to YouTube. But that's really, um, the very beginnings, and how I got to where I'm at today.
well, thank you for answering that. That was the first question I had across every one of your videos. So the next question I have for you, you mentioned it a little bit, but how did you end up buying back into crypto and getting into internet computer protocol?
So I ended up getting back into crypto like um, just I had a friend that made like 1.6 million off it. And so, here I am like thinking, wow, there's great opportunity here. And I feel like this industry and stuff like that can go a lot farther. And I was very interested in like how exchanges worked and how, all these dApps work and things like that. And so I really started researching all these different projects. And I can remember on a live stream I was doing back in, it might have been like 2021, and it was right after the ICP TGE. And somebody asked me to look at the ICP charts, and I'm like, oh man, this looks terrible. And so I didn't understand what was happening. I thought the name was rather silly at the time. I didn't know anything about this project, Internet Computer, Um, and so fast forward about a year, and I was on one of my friend Crypto Wendio's live streams, and we were talking crypto, and there was another gentleman on that live stream called Bitcoin Renegade. I'm sure you guys have seen Bitcoin Renegade around the socials, but he was really the one that whispered the internet computer bug into my ear. After I've after a month or two of him just harassing me about internet computer, I finally took a look at it because you know after Crypto Wendy's show, I had sent him a message just to see what he was all about and things like that. And um, after he brought me up to speed on the internet computer, I used the product and I was blown away by the speed, just everything it had to offer, the gas fees, everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is way undervalued. And then he started telling me about like the Definity Grants program and things like that, and which I got involved with early on. And this was when Definity couldn't even give these grants away because everybody thought the project was a rug pull at that time. So that's kind of basically how I discovered the internet computer, and it was just a freak chance, to be honest.
For you, so you discovered it. I also discovered it in one of my live streams where people told me about it. So and there, I know there's a lot of live streams where they ban you from even talking about ICP, which is really insane.
Wow.
So the since we'll keep this one shorter, last question I have for this, get to know Six Figs video is what else, what does the rest of your crypto portfolio look like besides ICP and that beer money from Bitcoin back in the day?
Oh man. Yeah, so my portfolio is heavily weighted into the ICP ecosystem. I would say at least by 90%. And there are some other projects that I am involved with, like Nervos Network, CKB. I just like that old school proof of work, layer two uh, style chain. And they got some great grassroots. It's like one of those grassroots efforts chains. They got a lot of great heart and soul, but I would say that probably is 10 to 15% of my portfolio. And then the rest is kind of divvied up in between ICP, which is probably at least another 75%. The remaining is kind of split up between like Kong Swap. Actually, now that you asked me this question, I'm involved with so much more. Um, as far as the ICP ecosystem goes, like ICP, Bob, EXE, and Kong Swap. So I've been an advisor for Kong Swap now, and so I've purchased quite a bit of tokens, and I've been allocated some tokens there as well. Other projects, I am involved with some Ethereum projects and some Solana projects actually right now. So the first one is Cyclics Games, and these are all under a entity called CoinRock. And so Cyclics Games is a casino built up on ETH, and then another one that's about to launch on Solana is Vault Finance and JeetBot. Those are my biggest. I shouldn't say my biggest bags, but they're significant uh, behind ICP. So that's kind of what my portfolio looks like. I don't hold any Bitcoin at this point in time. It's kind of one of those things. Maybe in the bear market, I'll look at potentially acquiring some more.
I know it's hard to buy Bitcoin when you bought it. You had that anchoring bias. When you got it at $6 or I got it at 170, it's like I just can't stomach buying it again at these prices. Well,
I
thank you,
know.
Kyle. Those are the top three questions I had for you to get to know you better, and I hope your
Mhm.
audience will enjoy that. Thanks for doing this video with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jerry. It's been great talking to you as well.